I think I scared away like half of the people by just showing up here. That's a good start. My name is Tobias. I'm working at City Network as project manager, developer. I'm used to be a developer, so sometimes I'm allowed to do the good stuff as well. I'm here to talk a little bit about what happened last week. Not about all the Guinness and all the like fun stuff we had, but also what happened at the OpenStack PTG in Dublin last week. So, how many of you know what OpenStack is? Is that all? Should have asked it the other way around, I assume. So, OpenStack has these summits 2 times a year. You might have heard of those as well. I know a few of you have enjoyed the parties there, at least. So these summits used to contain one thing that was called the Design Summit, where all the developers came together and interacting and so on. But that became like a too big thing for OpenStack to manage, to both have the regular summit and the Design Summit at once. So out from that came the PTG, Project Teams Gathering. So this Project Teams Gathering happens 2 times per year. It's a full week event. All the teams come together to interact, to have retrospective of what was good the last cycle, set the roadmap for the upcoming cycle. So a pretty busy week. It's a little bit divided into different focus areas. The first days are more into cross-project issues that they may have, and also to let like the working groups and special interest groups that exist within OpenStack to have their space as well, to invite the developers to get into their sessions, talk to them about their issues, what they are facing, and so on. The board of the foundation gets together at this point as well, like the technical committee and user committee always also come together here and to have like the same thing. They plan their agenda for the week, not only the core projects of OpenStack like Nova, Cinder, and so on. Fortunate to be elected to be one of the chairs of the public cloud working group. So we also had a pretty busy week and mostly focused on the first days of that. We actually had the opportunity to get up on stage, me and my fellow co-chair Howard Hung or Jipeng Hung from Shenzhen in China to present our agenda for the week at the main stage on the first day, which went out pretty well. We attracted a lot of core developers and project team leads that joined in our sessions we had with our folks there. So, what is the public cloud working group doing? Well, we try to be the voice of the public clouds within OpenStack community, so to say. We bring our issues that we feel as an operator of a public cloud, or issues or features that our end users would like to see getting better or being added. Like, could be like anything, like Spot instances, for example, has been around in Amazon for quite some time and been very requested. We are currently working on a couple of projects, and one of those you might have heard of is the OpenStack Public Cloud Passport Program. Has anybody heard of that? That's awesome marketing. I'll take that back as feedback. It was pretty newly released when we were in Sydney last fall. It was released. It is a collaborative effort between, I think it's 10 public clouds nowadays, spread all over the world, providing this global footprint of a public OpenStack cloud, so to say. I think we have like 63 regions spread over, 15 countries or something like that. So this offers a free trial to the end users. For example, somebody is out for, I've heard of OpenStack, this new cool thing, and would like to try that out. how do you do that today? Well, you probably end up at OpenStack's homepage, and we wanted to provide something easy for the user to consume, so to say. So we have this page at the OpenStack's homepage where you can filter down for countries or whatever. You can easily get started. So like a homogeneous way for you to get started with OpenStack, so to say. And the marketing has, yeah, we have a little bit to work on there. But I think this can actually turn out very well. So we talked about this in Dublin as well. Feedback to the foundation, what we think, and they provided feedback to us, and so on. We would like to bring more public clouds into this, but also we would like to implement some technical things into this, like we would like to hand out coupon codes on any kind of event like this, and you will be able to consume that very easily, like QR code that Florian showed earlier, that you can consume at any of those clouds that are within the program, so to say. But also we've been talking about using the concept of blockchain into this as well, which I'm not an expert of, but I think it's pretty cool actually to be able to create this virtual currency there that you can use only for these limited clouds, so to say. We have a couple of other projects that we're working on as well. One thing that we call the missing feature list for public clouds within OpenStack. And Spot instances, for example, has been there on that list for a while. People are now working on it. And it has brought a lot of attention to the core developers as well. They don't get this feedback very often, so they have been very fun about this whole idea. So the last release of OpenStack is named Queens and was released last Wednesday. Since I have retrospectives there and the release will happen at the PTG as well, we'll try to just mention a few things that are new into this release. As you can imagine, not all things within the software project are like user-facing cool stuff that is really fun to stand here and talk about. It's a lot of good things in the bottom that will eventually provide nice, cool things that I can stand here and talk about. And one of the most mentioned things in this release, or the hottest one, is probably multi-attach of a volume into multiple instances, so to say. So you can attach one single volume into multiple instances. I'm not sure that is so useful in a lot of use cases. I know a lot of enterprises has asked for it as well, but I think it's good if you know your shit if you are going to attach that to multiple instances, because you can probably easily end up with corrupt disks and so on. Sorry. A peak there. My release notes. Sorry. So a few other things that was cool here as well is Glance have been working on a better thing of getting web downloads to their Glance client. I don't think that has been working very well recently. And Keystone has done a lot of good things as well when it comes to unified quotas, unified limits, as it's called, to enforce quotas in a better way, which will make it much easier for us to create a better experience for our users. Like you will be able to, within your domain scope, be able to hand out quotas to the different projects that you are creating in a more flexible way. Keystone also released something that they call application credentials. So that will make it more secure and more easily to create applications that can interact directly with the resources of of OpenStack. Octavia, you might have heard of it. It's a load balancer for OpenStack, and that has matured a bit when it comes to HA, QoS, and so forth. And they have also decided to deprecate the current load balancer that is there. That is called load balancer version 2, but that don't mean that it will get out of there very soon. It's that it will be there until the S release, at least. One thing that also I think will make a little bit deal for at least new users to OpenStack is that they have merged Shade, OpenStack SDK, and something that is called OS Client Config into the same repository that is now called OpenStack SDK, to make it easier for users to know what they are working with and what is like core to OpenStack and all. So why we were in Dublin is for the new cycle, or the new upcoming release that will be called Rocky, and that will be released in September this year, I believe it is. And I try to follow some discussions there, what will be included in that release, and as well as the Queen's release, a lot of things will be going on down beneath that will take a lot of work for the developers, but there will be a couple of new things coming out as well. Hopefully, you never know. It's the roadmap they are planning for, so let's hope so. But spot instances or preemptible instances that I mentioned earlier is something that a couple of people from CERN are working on very much, and I really hope for that to go in there. Another thing that a fellow public cloud colleague from New Zealand are working on is multi-factor authentication into Keystone, which will be very important moving forward, I believe, and a lot of customers are asking for it, and I think that will just grow. Magnum is maturing. It will add better support for managing the Kubernetes clusters, better support for getting metrics out of it, and so on. But in general, I think it's pretty good progress in a lot of projects, and a lot of collaboration between the projects. So a lot of cross-project work is going on. For example, Keystone is like the core thing of it all, to provide some core things to make the other core projects better, so to say. For example, when it comes to the quota thing, I think that is a huge one, as well as providing better domain admin support in general, which all comes down to Keystone, but it will take Keystone to create it first, and then you will have to push it out to the other core projects. One thing that I felt, it was my first PTG. I had never attended it before, so I was pretty new to it all. I tried to get a lot of influences, and one thing that I actually felt was a little bit missing here was the feedback from the community, or not from the community, from the people that uses OpenStack or consumes it in some way. Like we, as a public cloud provider, we are consuming it as an operator. You, for example, consumes OpenStack as an end user. That feedback doesn't get into this scope as much as it should, so to say. And the developers are really eager to get that feedback. So how should they know what things that are most important if they don't know what the end users need? And they are really eager to get this feedback. And I had a lot of interesting discussions, evenings, days, with a lot of core developers, PTLs, or whatever they are called. And they're all looking for this. And I had a couple of interesting discussions with people from the user committee that are responsible for the downstream community, so to say, which are the end users in the end. And they are looking into this, and we hope to see some progress here to in a more unified way create forums for this. Like we have OpenStack Nordic Days coming up this fall. We hope to have some kind of good sessions for that there. So so the users can get their feedback. I assume they don't really know how to provide the feedback to the community today. Basically, I can assure you, it's a lot of work going on, but it's also a lot of fun. So if you have like the opportunity to get to one of these events, like the summits or the PTGs, it's an awesome community, it's awesome people, it's a lot of fun as well. And I can assure you, I was king there. Starting snowball fights. The people have never seen snow, basically. So Swedes, you know. But also some unexpected things, like getting stuck in Dublin. Not good for this, but it was pretty good. People freaking out about, you see the amount of snow there, closing down the airport. I was shoveling snow. No, but it's an awesome community, and it's awesome to be there. Yeah, thank you.